My guest today is television personality and friend Tyler Cameron. Tyler first received national attention on the 15th season of The Bachelorette starring Hannah Brown, which he was the runner-up of the season. He is a stand-up guy. He is a good person. He's honorable. He's been called a feminist. I find him interesting. I think he's intriguing. I think his looks are the least interesting thing about him. I'm really excited. Now Tyler is joining season 2's cast of Special Forces, World's Toughest Test. Make sure to tune in to Fox on Monday, September 25th. This is Just Be with Tyler Cameron. Let's get into it. We've met before. We met in New York right after you were on The Bachelorette. And I've read so much about you now that I felt like I knew you. And I think your book is really good. I have to say, you did a great job.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That was a great experience writing the book and doing that. It was therapeutic, honestly, to kind of dive into those things. It brought up a lot of conversations that me and my dad needed to have, my brother. So it was really good.
So when we met your mom, and when you were on the show, your mom was alive, and that was something you were struggling with. And I feel like you were talking about it. As a viewer, I thought she was going to be okay. And I wonder if you thought the same thing. It felt like you turned a corner and then went backwards again.
Yeah, well, I mean, she had a brain aneurysm, and when they told me that when it happened, it was it's probably nothing's going to bring her back, But they did all the tests, and we kind of kept things under wraps for a long time, probably 3 days into it, and then things started to come out. So then that's kind of how it all transpired. But yeah, no, it was pretty much, it was such a big aneurysm in her brain that it was the size of a quarter. They said that, and on the main artery or main. I'm
really sorry.
Yeah. So it was that was a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, it still is a tough one, I'm sure. And I'm really sorry because the way that I think of you is family first. That's just how I see you. And I think it hasn't been something that you've quote unquote pushed forward. I think it's just who you are, which I think is why people have really connected to you. I think, you're a pretty face, you're handsome, you're in great shape, you're charismatic, you're charming. But I think that, and you've had your player past, but you're ultimately a family person. And I see that because you're always going home to your family, and you're going into Florida in the summer when no one goes to Florida if they don't have to, although I like it because I love off season. But I just see your connection to your family and the family business. And I love that part about you. Yeah,
no, COVID and my mom's passing kind of got me back home, and then being home for that much time, and I just was so much more happier there. I was around my family. I was around my friends. All that stuff to me matters more than really anything. My pops, his battles with his health, so it's just important to be around. We do projects together. We have a couple construction projects going on. So we're always working and doing stuff together. It's fun. I love Jupiter. I'm a homeboy. I'm there now full time. I kind of put New York behind me, and I'll go visit when I need to, but Florida, I love being in Jupiter. I love being in the small town. I love, I want to be the high school football coach there one day.
It's funny that you say that because I think that people think that when you achieve fame, why would you choose to go back home? Meaning everyone sort of thinks of me as a New Yorker. My time in New York City is done too. It's a quality of life thing. It's a choice. It doesn't matter if all the glitz and glamour and press and red carpet stuff is there, which I don't even enjoy anyway. I feel like, how are you spending your life every day? What do you want to do? How do you feel good? Fame isn't cuddling you at night. Money's not cuddling you at night. And listen, you're young. As you get older, I think that'll become even more the case. But I love that you've chosen to be home. So fame has been like an accessory in your life. You don't really care about it that much, do you?
No, I mean, I think the most fun I ever have is doing the stuff with my people I grew up with and my family, So it's like if I do have some type of activity or thing that fame has brought me, I bring those people with me,
Exactly.
And so it's always, I don't hang, I'm not really in the industry. I don't really hang around those circles. I kind of just do my own thing in Jupiter with my people. And when I get opportunity, I bring them with me.
And they probably don't even give a shit. They don't even know really who you are. They couldn't care less, right?
They're the best people to have around you because they'll humble you. They'll tell you when you're right and when you're wrong. They'll they're the best people to go for advice. But when I was running around New York or LA, I was with just a bunch of yes men and running wild, and there was nobody to say like, yo, Tyler, you need to chill out. You don't need to be doing this, So
that really is cliche, but that really did happen to you. Like you really found that everybody was doing that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because they always wanted to go and do whatever was cool in New York or LA, and I was also going in those circles that were filled with those people, So I was kind of following that too, and then I realized like this isn't me. This isn't very fulfilling. I love, like, my favorite day is just to be on my boat on a Saturday, like get up in the morning, do some type of physical activity, and go hang on the boat with my friends. Like that to me is my perfect day, and then watch a movie and be bed by 8. Like I don't need to be going out to all these clubs. I've done it.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know Griffin Johnson by any chance?
Yeah, I love Griff. He lived closer to me now. He moved to West Palm Beach.
Exactly. I was going to say, I could see you guys being friends. He cares about like going like alligator hunting or swimming or whatever the hell he's doing. And he does all that kind of like big truck stuff. Like he's very down home, also very family and very down to earth, and also a very attractive, successful man that's, dabbled in the game, but really knows his roots and knows who he is. That's why I thought you guys would be, he's younger, but I thought you guys would be friendly because he reminds me of you.
Yeah, we always connected right away. I met him like 4 years ago, and he was a baby then, but I was just like, I liked his values. I liked what he was about. He was a country boy from, I think, like Indiana or something like that, or Illinois or something, small town.
Yes.
He always had those values, and I always appreciated Griffin for that, and he's always like, man, I don't belong in this circle, in this,
right.
But and when he got to Florida, he became so much more happier and healthier.
Yeah, exactly. Does it? Do you feel defined by your looks? Does that bother you? Do you think? Is that annoying when people try to like make your being a family guy and you're in construction, like make that sort of like a gimmick or like an image?
No, because for me, it's what gets me in the door. Then it's up to me to change their perspective. So it's a tool. So if I can use, if that's what gets me in the door, people, it's what got me in this world. So, but now it's up to me to, use my voice and my actions to change and prove that I'm more than just all that.
It's funny because when you were on, I don't know why I watched your season of The Bachelorette. I don't know what, like, I just might have been flipping and then just decided to commit, or I was watching with my daughter. And I remember, and I haven't seen so many seasons of it, but I remember saying to a producer friend that I know who worked on Housewives, I said, this guy's got legs. He's going to go all the way. And she said, please, he's about like, like the rest of them. And she thought you were going to end up in some like bachelor pile. And I was like, no, I think that guy is going all the way. I actually made a bet. I wish I knew what it was for so I could collect, but I was like, no. And every time I see you doing something amazing, I always say to her, told you that guy was going places. I really did. I had a feeling about you. There was something poised and confident, and you handled yourself well. It's, the truth is many people who are attractive are very confident and secure. They don't have to. There are a lot of guys that I call trick guys who were unattractive in high school, never got girls, then make a lot of money later, and they're dicks because they feel like it's not real. They don't trust anybody. They don't trust women, and they're the trickier ones. It's sometimes the ones that are like, that there doesn't have to be some player aspect behind you, if that makes any sense. Like you could be a nice looking, smart, well-adjusted family man, and it could just be what it is.
Yeah, credit to I've had a lot of great women and friends in my life that like my mom was probably my closest friend growing up, and then my two best friends are women. It's Molly and Katie, and so always being around them and always having them around always made me so comfortable, but also always made me so protective of them and other women.
Well, respecting women too. I guess people say look at a person's relationship with their mother, and you honor your mother and you respect women, which is a big part of it. So what are you doing if you were next to someone on a plane, they said, what do you do for a living? What would you say you do?
I tell them I work in construction and restaurants. I try to keep it at that because I want that part of my life to be what I'm known for now. All this stuff is an added bonus and it's great. And I want to keep building on it, the TV stuff. But I want to build, like, my goal is to build a construction company and a real business, and really dive into the real estate world. I got some really cool projects happening right now. I got a house for sale in a couple of weeks coming out.
In Florida?
In Florida.
Like a flip?
No, a spec home built ground up. And,
okay.
Yeah, so that comes on the market in 2 weeks. And then I'm also in restaurants. You know, I just opened up my 4th restaurant on Atlantic Avenue in Delray Beach.
Really? Which ones?
It's called Three Natives. So it's like a health, like a health fast food type chain. It's really good. Smoothies, acai bowls, wrap salads. And it's my 4th one. And I love the brand. I love the product. I'm just going to keep growing with the brand.
You invested with them, or you started the brand? It's Three Native Floridians. Is that what it is?
I started. I joined as a franchisee, but I had 2 with the guy who started the company, and then I have 2 franchises with my other buddy.
So they are handling operations and like how it's run. You're investing and ambassador and promoting, etc. Amazing, good for you. I love that. So all in Florida?
All in Florida, yeah. But I want to grow. I want to take it out to like college towns. I want to take it to Dallas. Those are the markets I want to hit next. So I want to get these ones situated first, and then start growing more.
Is it the kind of place that works better in a college affordable place or like a wealthy community? Because Atlantic's a wealthy community.
Well, we like to say we want to be in communities where, like Atlantic Avenue, we want people with either their dad's credit card or they're driving BMWs. We want to be in those communities. You know what I mean?
First of all, in all of the things that I was reading about you, I didn't see about that dancing thing that I loved when you did the dirty dancing thing. What was it's in my mind and I don't remember what it was, but you reminded me exactly of him. You totally fucking channeled Patrick Swayze. Nobody puts baby in the corner. You did the lift. I need to know what that was because I was obsessed with that.
That was so much fun. It was like a little quick thing that came up. My agent said, "Do you want to do this?" And I love the dance. I was almost a dance minor in college. So I was like, yeah, let's give this a run. And, the movie's iconic. We got to go to the hotel where they shot the movie at in Virginia. And we got to compete to be the best Baby and Johnny. And I was trying to be my best Patrick Swayze. It was so much fun.
It was so smart of them to do you. That was so good. And you just finished, I didn't know Special Forces had a first season. I thought this was the first season. So you just finished the 2nd season of Special Forces, and they're kind of like simulating the military.
Yep. So they're basically simulating a Hell Week essentially for like selection for like a SAS or a SEALs and whatnot. And it's all led by staff that was, part of the SEALs or SAS type special forces like that. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done, Bethenny. I mean, it put me through the ringer. I thought it was going to be easy. I thought it was going to be LA, like foo Hollywood.
Right.
Like, we'll be eating good foods. We'll be driving around, all this stuff. No, they grinded us out. And
so was it about physical endurance? Because you have more respect for Hannah Brown after doing it. Like, what was it about? Like, Survivor seems gnarly. Like, what was it about?
It was physical, mental, and emotional exhaustion, and they just beat you. Like when Hannah Brown passed first season, I was like, if she can do this, I got this.
Right.
And then I got into it. I was like, oh, this is a beast. And because it's not about like it's everyone's own level of you're in your own competition.
It's like golf.
So exactly.
Okay.
And so, like, what I'm going through is super hard for me, and maybe it's different for somebody else, And once I did it, man, I had so much more respect for Hannah and Carly Lloyd, and those were the finishers of last year. Like, those people are badass, And but yeah, I got through it, and then it just gave me even we got to get a little sliver and taste of what the military goes through, and I just. The amount of respect, I already have is now even way more above all that. My brother's in the Army. I'm like, Jesus, like you guys go through this all, and they don't even get the love and the credit I think they deserve,
Totally. Like you think about Navy SEALs training, like what that must do to your mind.
It's incredible.
Wow. It sounds like a great experience. I mean, how long were you there?
8 days.
8 days. Okay. So they put you, how many people are there?
14 of us.
So they put you in a room with Tom Sandoval. Were you aware of everything that was going on? Like, or there's no time to talk about that nonsense?
I didn't know Tom Sandoval. Well, I started to understand who Tom Sandoval was, because I mean, everyone in the world, saw the scandal and all that stuff. And so I was like, oh, this would be interesting to, be on the show with this guy. And I mean, I slept next to the guy. Our bunks were right next to each other, so I got to be around him quite a bit and get to know him, quite well. And, Tom's an interesting guy. So
I think you're a pretty good judge of character, and he's on a reality show, and The Bachelor is or The Bachelorette, Bachelor Nation is a reality show, but it's a different type of reality show, the same way that The Apprentice is a different type. Like, there's a goal. There's they only care about pretty much the goal, and then there are other things around it, but that's what it is. Whereas Bravo type Vanderpump or Housewives, it's kind of a little bit different. So my question is, and I think they're like the Unsullied. It's their job to create ratings. It's their job to create drama and ratings. And yes, The Bachelor is like that too. Bachelor Nation is like that too, but it's a little different in my opinion from what I've heard. So I never really watched Vanderpump Rules until I was interviewing Rachel for my podcast. I did not know what I was walking into. I did not know the explosion that this was going to be. Honestly, it's insane, this thing. But my question to you, I don't know what role they're all playing as characters because the show is in a bar. So my question is, do you think he's a good guy or a bad guy?
I think, Tom, here's what I tell everyone about the show. I was like, the show strips everyone down to their core, right?
Okay.
And you, I think watching the show, you'll have a different opinion of how you look and perceive people,
Okay.
Because Tom had a lot of shit talked to him, a lot of hate. Nick had a lot of shit, a lot of talk to him, a lot of hate. You're gonna watch the show and you're gonna see my views and perspective of them changed. I think Tom fucked up. Tom did something you should never do. You should never cheat on your woman. We all know that. The problem is Tom did it and it's broadcasted to millions of people, and then the pile on that we live on and the cancel culture we live on just goes and he got, he cheated, but it was treated like murder, and
interesting. So you think he's a good guy that does bad things or has done bad things?
I mean, when you talked, he looked out for everybody there on the show. He was, he would help out, you wouldn't even ask for his help and he'd be helping you out, He was a guy who, when you're doing this, you need each other. And he was there for everybody that needed him when he needed. Sometimes Tom would do some things on his own and Tom would fuck up here and there. Tom makes mistakes. We all make mistakes, on the show. And Tom would make mistakes, sometimes more than others. But at the end of the day, Tom never had ill intent in his heart towards any of us, towards anyone on the show. He was just there to try and make it better for everybody else, And
you could tell, on a Survivor, you could tell who Richard Hatch was or wasn't. Like you're saying, you could tell in this experience, it stripped down a situation. So you feel like you have an accurate, that's very interesting. That's so I'm trying to get at overall where, listen, if I invested in all those seasons, would I maybe have hated Raquel for what was portrayed? But it also is the thing that literally kept the show from cancellation. That's been said. And it's been millions and millions, tens and maybe hundreds of millions of dollars in profit as a result of that affair. So, and I know that some people, everyone plays a different part, and some people are there to be the villain. That may be the only role that they're good at playing, or this is what producers are leaning them towards, or this is what they're making money for. And it was an interesting thing overall, because you said that you thought that she had some sort of a hold on him, Raquel, that she was in his heart or his mind or present there. He did have a feeling for her, which I was surprised by.
Raquel, the new girl?
Raquel's the girl he had the affair with. Yes, like you, I hadn't seen it until I had to see it. But yeah, Raquel's the one who he had an affair with while he was in a relationship with Ariana, living together for 10 years.
He definitely talked about her in a positive light and wanted to grow their relationship and wanted to move it forward. He wanted to try and grow that, And so, I think this show, you'll really get to see a lot of that. You'll see a lot of character development with Tom. I think this show was probably the best thing for Tom's, in the timing of the situation that Tom was in. This show was probably the best thing for him to kind. And we talked about it, a little bit yesterday when I was with him at the event, the premiere event. He's like, it kind of gave him that little slap on the ass, all right, you can stop feeling sorry for yourself. You need to go move on with your life. You know, like you made your mistakes, you took your beatings. You know what I mean? You need to move on with your life. How many people do you know that have cheated on their spouse? You know, they have some shame and guilt from about, some people here and there in their community, but they don't have to answer to the whole town or the whole country.
Brilliant. Very smart. Very insightful. The woman sometimes, he took it bad. The woman sometimes takes it even worse because she's known as the vixen, the minx, the slut. It's just, so it's interesting. It just has brought up an interesting topic overall, bigger than a reality show. But what you say is true. It's something you have to answer to the world. Like it was murder. He's not married. He doesn't have kids. He's on a show fueled by alcohol. I had the same reaction as you, but I just think everyone got hooked into that at that exact moment.
To me, Arnold said, I had something I think is terrible and it's awful. Like that's something, I never want to experience with my spouse, but it happens. And the pile-on culture, the cancel culture, it's so sickening. And people just, what you put someone through by doing that, the nasty comments and messages, like it's just to me, it's just terrible.
People love it. It's gotten people really enjoy it. You see people enjoying it. So do you think you would have been a professional athlete? You threw out your shoulder and you said, I got to have a new path. And I didn't realize like how seriously on the path you were.
Yeah, I think a couple things messed up my path. Three things I'd say. I'd say, probably the wrong guidance early on about what positions and things I should be playing, Two, I was a knucklehead, party boy, loved to I had my first taste of freedom and I went wild in college. And didn't really focus like I could have. And then 3 injuries. I tore my knees, tore my left knee twice, tore my right knee once, tore both my shoulders, tore both my hips.
Wow.
I was just hanging on by threads pretty much when I was trying to go pro with the Ravens.
Wow. But that's still your first love in a way, because you said that was your sort of dream.
Yeah, I'm a competitor. I love sports. I love football. I love competing. That's why I love this show, because it was competition. It was competing. It was camaraderie. It was being in the locker room again. Like I love that stuff. And it's when you get away from it, you miss it. That was my whole life.
Yeah, I love that. And I love those articles that say the 25 things you didn't know about someone. I was a good debater in high school too. So you were a good debater. Why? Because you're organized with your thoughts and you just, what's the reason for that? Because there's a certain type that's a good debater.
I had a really good partner, Bethenny.
Oh, you weren't good on your own?
No, I debated in the ACC debate champion once. My buddy was one of the top debaters in the country, and he had me come do it. And once I caught a rhythm after like the first couple of debates, then I became actually pretty good. But I was also able to speak about a topic that I felt, passionate about. And it was about student athletes if they could receive monetary compensation. And now they're all getting paid. It's funny, we're talking about this 6 years ago in debate. But so I was able to be passionate about it, give, first, true life examples. So we crushed it. It was awesome.
I love that. You have a love for food. I see you're a foodie. You get really passionate. I'm the same. Like you love to get the find and taste the taste. And is it really what it's supposed to be? Are you still doing that? Like just for fun? Are you still obsessed with that?
I'm big on food. I'm trying to be my domesticated Tyler era. So I'm trying to go to like the grocery store now and cook my own food and clean and do all those things at the house. But yeah, no, I love food. I'm kind of become a steak snob. I'm like, this is expensive. I could probably make this better at home,
A steak, you mean in the preparation or in like the Wagyu or the Japanese, or in the preparation you're talking about?
I'm pretty good. I like the Wagyu stuff, but I like, I'm a New York strip guy.
I'm a New York strip guy too. You like the bone or off the bone?
Off the bone.
Okay, because I'm a New York strip person too. Where's your favorite place to get steak?
My favorite place to get steak, there's a place in town in Jupiter called Evo. If you're ever down, they do the dry aged New York strips, amazing.
Charred medium? Like what's your temperature? Or you do medium rare?
Medium rare.
You're medium rare. Do you make it at home with like the head of garlic and then you start it off in the skillet and then you finish it in the oven? Or because it's harder in the grill. The grill is good, but the grill I don't think is as good as like the skillet pan roast.
I don't know. So I do the green egg. So I charcoal it's.
Oh, you do love the green egg?
I'm on the green egg with it, and it's nice. But
that green egg makes a difference in the cooking technique? Yeah,
so, and I can still do the same because the green egg gets so hot. So I put it in there, I get it, around 250, 350, then I get it to my temperature that I needed to, pull it off, and then I get that green egg to like 500, 600 degrees, and then I char it nicely out on the outside.
That's like the Peter Luger's, because they have those old hot ovens, and that's you've been to Luger's, right? They have that old, like, yeah. All right, I might get the green egg if it's that. You're telling me that big of a difference. Okay,
So
wow.
I never cook on propane ever again. Green egg is where to go.
Wow. Okay. All right, I got to write that down. I mean, I knew about it, but I just forgot that I knew about it. So dating, do you online date? Was that a ridiculous question? Like, how do you meet people and how do you deal with trust issues?
I try like the Rye app. I've done some dating. Dating has changed a lot for me, probably in the past year and a half, 2 years. I dated the models, I dated the influencers, I did all that. And then I was like, I'm kind of stepped away from dating for a while. And then I'm now putting myself back out there, but my whole perspective on it changed. At first I was always like, I got to date somebody with a name and this, and she's got to be cool, and she's got to be hot, she got to be all this. And now I'm just trying to date somebody, Steve Harvey, who I like to listen to. He said, and it was simple. He said, women are like an elevator button. They can either bring you up or they can bring you down. And I look at everyone I meet now. I'm like, can they bring me up in life, or are they going to bring me down in life? And are they going to match my morals, my values, all those things? And it just broke it down to a very simple way. And I can tell within 2-3 dates if it's going to be an up or down type of woman for me. And that's kind of how I look at things now.
I look at dating celebrities because I've met celebrities before and dabbled, not like you dated. Although Gigi seems like a class act. I've met her mom, her sister sort of is a fan of mine, but she seems like a class act, but like a different level than dating the influencers from my perspective. But I would think that would just feel like a lot. Thinking of who you are, where you come from, and how grounded you are, even if a person's amazing, it would seem like you're in some machine. Like you just have to like deal with all that. Someone's got constant glam and social media and teams and entourages, and I would think that would be overwhelming.
Yeah, and for me, I want a simple life. Like I want to create a lot of opportunity and do a lot of things and make a lot of money so I can do the things I want to do, which is not much. Like I said, I want to coach high school football. I want to live by the water. I want to be able to be on my boat. I want to have some land too. So it's like I want to find someone that fits into that lifestyle. And I've been back home. I've been dating back home, which, I'm not dating celebrities. I'm not dating influencers. I'm dating just people, and I've loved it. And it's been a good change, and it's been very healthy. And, it's getting a lot better for me.
What's the age range? I'm just thinking, because I went to Pinecrest. I don't know if you know that. Do you know that?
Yeah. You went to Pinecrest?
Yeah, I went to Pinecrest. So I spend a lot of time in Florida, but I went to high school in Florida. But what's the age range?
It used to be like young. 22 was like my last girlfriend. But now I'm like, it's got to be like 27, 26 and above.
Do you date older?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. I'll think about it. Not that you asked me to, but you never know. So it's good to be set. It's good to be set up. I mean, I would say that's a decent way. And I think online is good.
Okay.
Do you care? I don't love dating someone who's heavily into social media or being in a relationship. I don't like that, which is a double standard. But there's one peacock, I guess, in this relationship. I don't like. It turns me off. What do you think about that?
I honestly, that's one of the things. Like me and my buddies, we all joke. That's a green flag for us. It's like, if they're off social media, they don't care about that life, because that life is so consuming. I hate social media. I hire people to do my social media, because I don't want to be on it. I don't want to think about.
By the way, no one would believe me. If I like retire, when I retire, which won't be that long, I wouldn't be doing it at all. I never understood it from the beginning. I never understood telling people what you're eating, where you are. And I do it a lot, but it's become a vehicle, as you know, and you do it too. But it's like a really vicious cycle.
I could throw this thing away down the road and then get a flip phone and not have to worry about the internet on my phone. That would be the biggest joy.
It'll happen soon. Keep with the restaurants. I like this for you. Restaurants, fishing, you got a whole program.
Yeah, it's a tool, and I'll use it for now. But yeah, if she's not on social media, that's a huge plus. If she's not on it much, it's great.
That's a green flag. I haven't used that. Not a red flag. It's a green flag if someone doesn't have it. So about the Bachelorette experience, it seems like it was an amazing experience for you. It seems like you did it to find love and also just for an adventure. Like you seem like that type of person. You are competitive, as you said. And in reading about it, I think like you really did want to propose. Like you wanted to quote unquote win, but not really just for the show. But it seems like you really thought you could have a life together. Is that really like you were not a little bit freaking out that it might happen and that you might have to deal with it, thinking about if it would really last? Like what was going on?
Yeah, I mean, of course I was freaking out. Like that morning when I was getting ready to propose, I was sick to my stomach. I was nervous. It was butterflies. You know what I mean? Because I mean, this is a big step in my life, but I knew if it was meant for me, it would happen. And we'd figure it out. And so I was excited. It was a big day. I was definitely like I was in bubble love for sure. I was ready to fall in love with that girl and hopefully build a future. And it didn't work out that way. And if it would have worked out, who knows what could have happened, but everything happens the way it's supposed to. And it was a blessing. It didn't,
And you're still friends. You still have a good relationship.
Yeah, still have a good relationship, still friends. She's great. She just got engaged, so I'm very excited for her. And I just want her to be happy.
She seems great. I just wonder, like, what, it was meant to be also because she's wanted this life and entertainment, and you want a girl who wants to be like in Jupiter on your boat. So that's a part of it too. Like she went on the ride. No disrespect to her. I think she's wonderful. And she's got a podcast and she's got a whole thing going. She was amazing. I just think life is interesting. But I just wanted to know that you genuinely really wanted it. Not because I care, not because I'm like a big fan of the show. I'm just curious that like if what I was watching was that you really were into it. But you're right. Gabby Windey came on the podcast and she did talk about the bubble. And it makes sense. I've been in a situation where I'm going to be married on TV. I'm having a baby on TV. And it's not something you can control, that it is different. It's like it's on steroids, the experience you're having.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, and that's one thing I always told myself is like, one of my favorite coaches' sayings was "Be where your feet are," and I would be on his luxurious, dates and doing the craziest things. But I always would tell myself, remember what you're here for. Like, get to know this girl. Don't worry about this dates and don't fall in love with the scene and the setting. Fall in love with this person, and that was kind of what kept me grounded and kept me into it. And I liked her. She was an amazing girl. Like I fell in love with her on the show and I thought we could have had something special. And when it didn't happen, it was a lot of emotions. I was upset. I talked to my book how I cried walking down the steps in Greece from my resort, and I was like, I was emotional because, with her, I was upset it didn't work out because I really wanted it to work out. And then also like in my life, I've always come this close to so many things, football, that relationship, so many things in my life has been right here. Yeah. And so that was just like, damn, here I am again,
That's interesting. I get that. I really get that. That's funny. Do you still feel that way now, or you don't think of things that way coming this close?
It's a great reminder because I think a lot of the reasons why I always ended up here was certain things in my preparation or things I didn't do right, or, things I can reflect on that I can be better at in the future. So hopefully I can close the gap on other things in life down the road.
And I read that I can't imagine why they wouldn't ask you to be the host. I don't know that you would want that. I spoke to Chris Harrison on here, but I think you would be so great. You're funny, you're smart, you think before you speak, you're polished, you're solid. I mean, the whole game. And has that ever come up? Like, would you do that?
What, host the show?
Yeah.
I mean, no, it has not come up, but I would love to. It's the greatest job in the world. You travel around the world, you say like 3 sentences an episode and then you're out, I
think you should have that job. I just would like you to have that job. I want you to, I'm saying that right now. I think I can't think of a reason why you wouldn't have that job. I'd like that job for you.
It would be great. I think, they probably want me to go through the Bachelor lead first to get to that point, but
Chris Harrison wasn't a Bachelor.
Yeah. Jesse Palmer was, I guess that's where I'm thinking, but yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of things that happen differently. I don't know. I'm putting that out there. I think you're obvious, and I don't know why it hasn't been said like formally or officially. And ABC called you a feminist, and you kind of felt like that was flattering, but you were being called a feminist for just being sort of an honorable man that's doing the right thing.
I don't think I was just doing the respectful right thing, you know?
It's so true. And I have a 13-year-old daughter, and it starts really young, meaning the way that the girls treat each other and kiss the other person's boyfriend, and the way that the boys act like punks, etc. And it's really, I don't want to say it's a full-time job. It's a consistent job of me to really talk to her about how you should be treated. Like, it's something and not to just, oh, that guy's a jerk. To really like get into emotionally what you deserve, and you should never settle for less than what you deserve. And it's I think that mothers need to start that really early with their own experiences, sharing their own experiences and like dynamics, because I feel like it's working. My daughter likes the nice sort of, almost not dorky, but like the cute, nice boys that are really sweet to her and like have the glasses and come up and like give her a flower, versus like there are young punks at that. She's 13. And I like that. I feel very proud of that, because it is an open dialogue, and it requires a lot of conversation and a lot of listening and watching what they're doing and who they're talking to. And it starts really early.
It does. Yeah. It's just all about, I get on my brothers, my boys, I was like, we never treat them like this, like this is, like we're protectors, and all our friends, we have such tight girlfriend groups, and I think that's where it all started, is like having a really great platonic relationship with a girl. So then you can respect them. You can be there for them. You can hear what they're going through, and also be a voice for them on the other end of it too, And so it's just, if I'm in a relationship with a girl, if I'm seeing a girl, that person's important to me, and I'm going to treat that person like I treat my best friends.
It's funny. My fiance is like that. He has a code, and it's down to the little things. Like, he would never in a restaurant look over and be like, oh, she's hot. Or if I even say, do you think she's attractive? He won't even comment. Like, he has sort of a code and just a way that he thinks that you're supposed to respect, not a way that you're supposed to, a way that he does respect a woman and me. And it's really safe. Yeah. It's really safe. He's not one of these, I've dated the hot shot. It's really exciting all the time. Feels like you're driving with no brakes and everything's a party. And, he's a very solid, loving, amazing partner. And it's just different. And it's different.
Nothing worse than feeling insecure in your relationship.
Insecure. And like, I use that with like, you're driving with no brakes. Like, you're kind of like, you're ahead of yourself, and it seems good, and something feels uncomfortable. Yeah, it feels unsafe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
totally.
I've been in those, and they're miserable, they're terrible. They're anxiety filled and driven, and it's not good.
Well, I think you're. One last question. I think you're great. I really do. I wanted to have you on here since the beginning. I liked you from the minute I met you. I liked you from watching you on TV. I was right in telling my friend that you would go the distance as just a human being and not being like every other guy. And I think you deserve all your success. I genuinely do. So I'm really grateful you came on. I can't wait to see all the things you're doing. I want to see the business deck, and I want to, we'll get together hopefully in Florida or when you, come to New York. But I wanted to ask you your rose and thorn of your career.
My rose and thorn. Oh, that's a good one. My rose my rose would be probably the foundation I started. We started a foundation to honor my mom, and I'm able to now give kids full scholarships to go to school, and we're paying full tuition now. We have 7 girls right now, and none of this would be possible if it wasn't for my career in this world. It's a way to shine a light on my mom still, because this is what she did for everyone in our community, was finding ways to help them go to college. So I think, the culmination of everything that this world and this career has brought me has been able to, allow me to impact others. And to me, that's how I was raised. Like my mom, she always did everything for everyone in our community. My dad's the same way. And so the rose is being able to take everything that I've gotten in this world and then give it to others. The thorn would probably be dealing with my phone and like social media. To me, that's the hardest thing, it's just a pain. There's, I've never had anxiety, depression, any of that stuff until I had this following and this phone. And I think that's been my biggest thorn. And, comments and things like that, like those things, as much as you want to say they don't get to you, those things do get to you at times. And those things make you trigger shy and to not post or be who you want to be on there,
Yeah, not be this world is such bullshit where they act like be honest. You have to be yourself. This is the time now, 2023. You can be free and be open. And it's the opposite. It's the time for fear.
I post about things that matter, things that I care about, and I post about things that help grow, and so I think it's just, that'd be my biggest thorn, is just dealing with the anxiety and drama of social media. I feel bad for people like Raquel and like Tom that, they fucked up, but they and then they get crucified forever. Like that stuff has to end.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's funny that, you're a person that if I look at your social media, I think you're a perfect example, because you are a person that I look at your social media. It seems perfect, seems like you don't care at all, and you're just natural at it and everything goes your way. And then you tell me this, and it actually makes me feel like you're human. And wow, it's happening to you too. Because if it's happening to you, a person that looks like you've got it so locked and it's so perfect, and you're just that guy that like everything works out for, not belittling your experiences, just meaning you post something, it looks cool, millions of people like it, and you're good looking and you're working out and it's perfect. Like that's what I see. So now that I hear that there's anxiety behind it, I don't want to say it makes me feel better, because misery doesn't love company, but it's relatable. So I appreciate you sharing that, because I really do get it. It's frightening. You're the best. So thank you for doing this. Good luck with the show, and your book is amazing. Everyone buy it. It's really insightful and well written, and I can't wait to see what happens next. I'm happy for you.
I appreciate you. It's always good catching up with you, Bethenny, and thank you for having me on here. Check out our show on Special Forces, September 25th. Whatever you need from me, Bethenny, I'm always here. So.
Likewise, Tyler's book is You Deserve Better, and you do. And the book is amazing. Thank you, Tyler. I can't wait to talk to you again.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Have a good day. Tyler Cameron is wonderful. I met him years ago. He is, I don't even like saying he's a pretty face, because he's so much more than a pretty face. He's interesting. He's textured. He's intelligent. He's well spoken. He thinks before he speaks. He's methodical. He's a class act. He's a family person. He's wonderful. I can't say a negative thing about Tyler. I really like him, and I will help him in any way. Like I'm team Tyler Cameron all day long. And I would love to have a son like that. Like that's amazing. He's wonderful.